There you have it. It's live. Or sort of live. We're recording anyway.
Okay, cool deal. We're here.
We're here, man.
Yes,
Met you on Twitter.
Twitter.
Actually. I don't know how. I guess people like stuff, and then it showed up. It showed up on my page. I guess. DJ Rob. Rob liked something and made a comment about you should have a podcast.
Yep, the power of social media, man.
Yeah,
the power of social media.
And I was like, yeah, you should have a podcast.
Yeah.
And if you want to be on mine, you can. And then that was it.
Thank you for having me here today, man.
Although I was expecting the hair.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, dude, this guy's got the best hair ever, dude. It's going to be awesome.
Not anymore. That was me about a month ago, and it got a little bit too hot, so I had to cut it low. And I was talking to people about it today. Like, I feel so much better. Like, it's so much of a relief.
Well, I mean, it looks cleaner. I will say that. Like,
definitely.
It looks a little bit, it looks good.
Yeah.
It's a good look on you right now.
Appreciate it,
But the
man.
other one was cool, too. I had, like, a really long hair, too, about a month ago as well.
Got tired of it?
Well, my wife likes it shorter.
Mm-hmm.
And I know it looks better shorter. Long hair is fun, though.
Yeah.
You know, it's kind of fun to have. So
is.
it's like kind of sad to see it go. But at the same time, I surprised my wife. She didn't make me do it, but I surprised her. And got
You just showed up with it?
Yeah. I made sure, like, she checks the bank account like crazy. So I had to do it when I knew she was going to be traveling from work home. Mm-hmm. So I did it while she was at work. She came home and she saw me. So, yeah.
New man.
Just surprising her. So, man, tell me about this traveling DJ stuff, dude.
Traveling DJ, it's really cool. It's something I worked pretty hard on. I've been DJing for going on almost 6 years now. So it takes me to a lot of places, of course, because I'm traveling. I get to network, meet with a lot of people. Even with this, like me and you meeting up, it's kind of like one of them things you let life flow kind of as it may, and stuff just happens, man. It's been great. It's been a hell of a journey the past 6 years. I can honestly say that. But it's great. I get to meet a lot of cool people, like I said, work for a lot of cool businesses, and just travel and get to do what I love, basically.
So where all do you go? Like, where all do you travel to?
Where all do I travel to? So mostly I'm based here in College Station right now. I've been here for going on 2 years. But outside of that, I'll travel to like Huntsville. I graduated from Sam Houston State University, so they keep me employed, doing plenty of events for the school, president's office, dean of students, program council, basketball games.
Oh, geez, you DJ for all that stuff over there?
Pretty much everything. Like right now, I'm in a series where I'm doing every home game. It's a tailgate, like the official tailgate for the school. So I love going back out there. I always get to interact with students that are younger than me. Let's see, where else do I go? I go to Houston. I'll do pop-ups at like clubs out there, certain events, if it's like private parties, things like that. I've been to Dallas, San Antonio, pretty much most of the major cities and towns in Texas, more of. I've been out of state a few times, mostly to do weddings. Nothing crazy just as of yet.
That's pretty cool. You've been out of state, though.
Yeah.
That's pretty awesome, dude.
It's been some of my most fun experiences, actually. So,
going out of state?
Yeah, going out of state. It's been cool just getting to, like, see that you started from nothing and now people are. It's not even about the money. It's never about the money for me. Seeing that people value you enough to bring you, and in my situation, to do their wedding. They know that you're going to do a good job. They know you're going to keep people entertained. So they value you enough to bring you out to their wedding or to their event anyway.
So how did you get started doing all this? Like, I mean, this is your only gig, right? This is your full-time gig doing a DJ?
Yeah. I quit my job like 2 years ago. Well, not 2 years ago. A year ago, actually. A year ago in July. To go full force with this right after I graduated. I was like, I'll get to the question, I promise you. But I have to start there.
Yeah,
I don't know why.
It, man. Yeah, no, of course.
I quit my job a year ago. I did the whole go through college, get the job you want, get there, and it's like, this isn't what I want to do. I don't want to sit behind a computer all day, being in Houston, dealing with traffic, all that. But to get to the question, how I got started, I essentially got started because my whole family comes from like a really musical background. So we grew up in a church, of course, traditional Southern black people growing up in a church, you know, everybody singing, clapping.
Yeah.
But my grandfather's like a really big pastor. So he made sure, I guess, stemming down from his kids, and then my mom and her brothers and sisters stemmed down and made sure that we all knew how to like sing. If you didn't know how to sing, you knew how to hum damn good. Play some drums, guitar. You got to do something basically in that church. You had to. So my thing was, when I was younger, I played a bit of the guitar. Drums kind of came naturally, which is, if you can hold a beat, you can hold a beat. I was always fascinated by the piano, but never got into it. But long story short, we always grew up around music. So say, for example, I would go to my uncle's and I would hear like some really deep jazz music like Grover Washington, or I'm listening to something like some Marvin Gaye, and then I go to my aunt's house and she's playing like Patti LaBelle or Erykah Badu, and then my mom had her own selection of music. So basically I'm growing up and I'm hearing all this music, and as I go, I have like my older cousins listening to like, Tupac because they're older than me and things like that. I'm gathering all this music in my head, and I'm seeing how it's affecting them more of, and it's making them happy and them sing and dance and feel some type of way. So I always had a really extensive music library. Got to college, I saw some guys DJing, and I was like, man, I can do that. So I go on Amazon, or it was eBay actually. Amazon wasn't as popping back then. I go on there and I see this digital turntable. I'm like, I'm gonna buy that. So I save up, buy it, look at it, and I was like, nah, this shit's too hard. It's too hard. So I literally, I shit you not, I put that thing back under my bed for like a year.
Really? So you just bought it and you're like, oh,
yeah.
No, I
was like,
I'm gonna put it up.
I was like, nah, I'm good. I'm just gonna keep, working the 9 to 5, doing whatever. So I meet a guy, one of the first DJs I ever met that was like cool enough to like talk and sit down, and I actually went through an interning process for organization with him. He was DJing, and I was like, man, this dude's badass. Like, he's over there mixing and scratching and making people happy. I'm like, man, I just know there's something in me that's telling me I can do it. So I pick up my board and we meet up, and he starts to kind of like mentor me, but he only mentored me so much. He was more of one of those, and now you gotta go out there and actually do it super fast. Like, he was like, that's the only way you're gonna get better is if you get that experience in. Like, you're gonna suck at first, but if you keep going, like, things are gonna get better for you. Surely enough, you practice with anything, you get better at it, and you become great. So that's kind of how I got started. I was at Sam Houston. Saw a guy who's now one of my close friends DJing, and I kind of took it from there and ran with it.
So, just to expound on this gig thing, when you suck at first, you're sucking in front of a bunch of people, right? Like, somebody hires you to be a DJ, and then you suck. Now, how do you get hired again after that?
You gotta suck in front of yourself first. But my thing was, I always knew a lot of people. Mm-hmm. So I used that to my advantage. So I would literally just, didn't have speakers, I had the board and a busted Toshiba laptop. It had a hole in it. Like, literally a hole in the bottom of it. I would pull up at my friend's house and make them listen to me. Like, if they're going to be playing music, I was like, nah, I'm going to do it. Like, y'all are going to listen to me. So I'll pull up with these computer speakers, this Toshiba laptop, and this board all in my backpack. And so from there, I then forward the apartment complex I was living at the time. Like, for whatever reason, at nighttime when the staff would leave, people, white, black, Mexican, girls, short, tall, they would all gather at the pool. Like, it was some of the locals and kind of a blend of the college students. So I was like, man, you know what? I'm going to take my speakers out there and I'm going to start DJing.
So you just DJed at the pool?
I did it at night when like none of the staff was there, and it was people there. So slowly, as people would hear the music, they would come. And so it's like, I'm messing up, but they can't be mad at me because they're not paying me. I'm not technically working for them. So it kind of worked out. And then from there, I would learn, like, hey, maybe I shouldn't do that on this transition, or maybe I should not play this song because it's not making people move a certain way.
You just experiment with it from there?
You learn from there. And surely enough, one time there was this fluke party, and we didn't plan it or anything. It was just like another night on a weekend, and I promise you there was like, I can remember, it was at least like 100 people, maybe 150, almost 200 people there for no reason. And I'm DJing on these little bitty computer speakers. Like, there's like the big sub, but then there's like the two that are not that big, not that loud, and I have them things cranked up, and everybody's just there, and the cops come, and it's crazy, and we all run. But basically, like, to get good, you just have to keep practicing and make yourself comfortable, I feel like, in front of people. I don't know if that answered the question or not.
Oh yeah, but I mean, it gives a really good background, because explaining it like that is, you threw yourself out there for free first.
Yeah.
you just found unique little loopholes. You obviously love to DJ
because nobody's gonna come to you and like, oh, you DJ, let me hire you without having some kind of background or some kind of something.
Yeah, then how do you get the background?
Yeah.
That's always the question. Like, how do you get experience and background if everybody's gonna hire somebody because they're wanting people to come to their establishment to hear somebody that's good. Oh yeah. So how do you get that background, the experience, and all that good stuff? Because the DJ's not going to bring you in the booth all the time to be like, yeah, this is how you do all this, bro. Let me show you how to do it. You know what I mean? And that's a little tough to do. So I love hearing that you just went out there because you obviously did it because you like to do it. Oh yeah. It wasn't ever like it doesn't seem like anyway the way you're telling the story that it was like I'm gonna make some money DJing. No, it was. You were like, I'm gonna DJ because this is fun.
It was never about the money, and like I tell people this story, like especially when guys are asking me like, how do you price or quote people? The first time somebody ever paid me, I didn't ask. Like I wasn't looking to get paid. Like I literally, I was DJing at a house party, and it was for a group of coworkers, and we all knew people, so we invited people, and a girl literally walked up to me and handed me a $5 bill. The first time I ever got paid, it was $5, and she was you like, yeah, she was like, hey, you played one of my favorite songs, and it's moments like that kind of like gave me okay, like this is cool. Not even because of the money, but because she was like, this is one of my favorite songs, like, and she enjoyed it. And I don't remember what I was playing or how it happened, but I was like, damn, I got $5.
Well, you created something. You're like an artist. And you created something. Somebody liked what you created.
It's that genuine feeling of happiness.
Yeah, that's got to be an enjoyable. Like that's got to be something that is the most incredible about it. Like me putting myself in your shoes. It's got to be really cool. It's like an artist with a painting. You know, somebody buys your painting because they like it.
Oh yeah, yeah. Same feeling, man. I'm pretty sure them guys are getting paid racks for them paintings.
I have some friends that are artists and they do, but they put a lot of work into it too. It's not just that. Hey, hang on, I'm gonna go quiet the dogs down.
Oh, you're good.
All right, we're back after the short break. Had to quiet the dogs. I forgot to let the dogs in.
Cool deal. So
don't throw us off track.
They're all right. They're all right.
But yeah, so like your creative avenue of just being able to figure that out is really like it's really cool, and I love hearing stories about that because so many people are like, "How do I start? What do I do?" And you explained it perfectly. Like just go out and do it.
Yeah, like, you have to.
Just do it.
It's just like if two people are auditioning for the same role, you can give them the same script, but they're not going to know how to act it out. It's all going to be natural. And that's been my thing. Like everything that I've done, I really didn't have, like, not even to say it like that. I had some great mentors that actually took time to like sit it down with, but everything else, like learning how to like deal with people and how to pick up on different music for different cultures and different backgrounds and knowing, you know, demographics, all that kind of stuff I had to learn by like bumping my head, like going out there and trying things and learning. Like you just gotta put yourself out there and stick to it.
Yeah. Yeah. So you taught yourself how to do all that stuff, and then how do you get your first paying gig? You go by to clubs, you give cards out. Like, how hard is it and difficult is it to go and get yourself a gig?
Man, I've probably done some of everything, and I'm real deep into studying people and how they act and how they react to things, and just like watching other people make mistakes. Like, oh, I'm not gonna do that. Like, say for example, a way to get paying gigs. What works for me is putting in the work beforehand so you can be prepared for the moment. So I know that when I get that moment, I'm going to go out there and I'm going to kill it. And while I'm there, I'm going to meet as many people as I can. And really, me meeting people and networking has been one of my things. Like, people meet me, they get to know me as a person. It's not even about me DJing sometimes. Like, we have cool conversations, things we can relate on. And that kind of more of pushes me to get booked, I guess you would say, making those relationships along the way.
Yeah, they like you.
Yeah, they like me as a person. I like them as a person, of course. Sometimes you don't always see eye to eye with people, but they'll still book you. Like, if they know your quality, honestly, because they know they can't do without you, they can try. People will try to go and book you or try to book around you, but they're like, nah, we just got to bite the bullet and go get who we know is going to do the best for us, you know. But I don't really have a lot of situations where I don't like someone and they don't like me and they book me. Like, I have had people try that. But to get back to what you were saying on the question, sorry I kind of get off topic.
No, it's fine, man. You can go wherever you want with it. Oh, yeah, you just explain whatever you want.
Appreciate it, man. But getting gigs, there's a lot of things you could do. Of course, you have to market yourself. have a presentable appearance. That's one of the reasons why I want to get rid of the hair. Also, a lot of people see me with my hair and they might judge and be like, "Oh, this guy looks crazy. His hair, it's all over the place." Just a more well-groomed image, which is kind of sad to say because it's not the hair or anything like that. It's the person.
No, but it does make a difference.
Yeah, it does.
Your appearance makes people feel a certain way.
It definitely does.
You can't just it has to be tasteful, whatever you're doing. Mm-hmm. It doesn't matter you have tattoos everywhere.
Yeah.
If they're not tasteful, and they're not like I guess I put it this way: I've got quite a few tattoos, right?
Yeah.
And they're all special to me. I liked them.
Mm-hmm.
I got them for a certain reason, and they fit me.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? They fit my personality, who I am as a person, all that good stuff. That's what I tell people all the time. Don't just go get something like that if you get it just to show off and brag and do all that, and it's not part of your personality, who you are, it's going to look out of place for some reason.
Oh, yeah.
You got a full sleeve right there.
Yeah. And this is
I wouldn't even think about it. Talking to you, I'm not even thinking about that when I look at you.
You're not judging.
You know what I mean?
That's a big thing with society today, and I feel like we could go, this would get deep, but just judging people, man, the color of your skin can get you judged. That's something we won't get into, but it's just sad that people will judge someone before they get to know them, and they haven't taken a step back to actually be oh, this person is that way because say for example, and this is random and funny, I could have been growing my hair because I got a huge bald spot in the middle of my head and nobody would have known that, but they think I'm looking crazy because my hair is all long. Just get to know people before you try to cast judgment on them, man.
Well, they can judge people from even where you're from.
Yeah.
It doesn't even have to be the color of your skin or the tattoos or the clothes you're wearing. It could be that you could be from, the Pacific Northwest, or you could be from New York, or you could, and people do it all over the place, and vice versa. Both areas, they'll just judge everything. The Midwest is going to judge people from the South and the Northeast and the Northwest. That they have this idea in their head of what this person's supposed to be like. Everybody's going to be that same way, and nobody's different there. They're all like this in that area.
I can share an interesting story with you along those lines, man. And this might even blow your mind because it completely baffled me when I stumbled across the issue or the problem. So, you have Americanized black people, I guess you would say. We're here, born in America, African Americans. And you'll have black people that'll come from Nigeria and Africa and, out of the States. When I first got to Sam, I didn't even realize this, but I felt like the Africans and Nigerians there were kind of judging the African Americans there. And they were like, man, y'all are culturally dumb. Y'all are stupid, this, that, and the third. And I'm like, where's all this coming from? I thought, not even to say that, I thought we were all the same here. I thought we're just all black, we're cool. They're like, no, it's a totally different culture. It's a totally different understanding to what it's like to be black. And I never understood that until I got around more people at the university. And I was like, well, damn, that's something I learned, which I thought was kind of intriguing or interesting to me.
Did you ever have any conversation with them about it?
Yeah, definitely.
Just ask them?
Because I want to know. I'm the type of person, if there is a problem like that, I want to know kind of why and kind of get to understand. And so from there, I kind of befriended a couple of them, and I understood why they were the way they were, more because it's been stemmed down from their parents on out. And I can understand that, there's the rabbit hole gets way deeper, of course, and I can understand where they were coming from. But I'm just instead of thinking that, try to enlighten people or try to enlighten the African Americans and get to know them, and they might have something to share with you.
Do you think it's so you grew up here, the culture here is the slavery and the racism and everything else, in the history, the way it was. Yeah. And that culture, your parents grew up through it, your parents, your grandparents grew up through a different time as far as that goes.
They know
them. Yeah. They lived over there where they're the majority of the population, right?
Yeah.
So that's them. That's their land, their country. That's what they grew up around. So they look at you thinking you're culturally dumb.
Oh yeah.
Because you grew.
Not all of them.
You know what I mean? Your background and the way you grew up and your heritage is totally different than theirs, even though you're the same color.
Yeah, and that was a small story that kind of interested me or got me wondering what really goes on inside the U.S. and what really goes on outside the U.S. because, I mean, it's like over here, I feel like there's a bunch of things that's a bunch of fluff and BS that kind of keeps us distracted from what's really going on. And that was to sum up and nobody's ever right or nobody's ever wrong, you know, but it's like, that's what I realized one of the main differences was like they were more of a straight to the point type of culture or more just straight to it.
But like, you travel and you learn things like this all the time. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
That's why it's great to travel.
Traveling is one of the best probably the best education that you can get is to open your eyes to see how the different people live and function and, you know, that they're the same as you, but not the same. They grew up different and they have a different background and they do things a little different. It can open your eyes to a lot of different things that you wouldn't know about. You know, if you just heard it on the news or you live here and you're just assuming what it's like over there. Like
you only get one idea.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then you go there like, oh, like talking to Rob about Kenya.
Oh, yeah.
And you're like, that's not at all what I pictured in my head. Mm-hmm. You know?
They'll paint a picture for you, especially like the media, the way they portray things. They will paint a different picture of you, different picture of the world. And then you're kind of like, that's all I have. So that's what I think I know.
Yeah,
to say the least. But
so you actually dealt with that over there in Sam Houston. That's super interesting, man.
And then I got to travel outside of the country, and it more of made me realize like
where did you go outside the country?
I went to Turks and Caicos, which was really cool. It's a small series of islands like right under Florida. I guess you would say the best way to describe it, for lack of better words. But there's a lot of different nationalities and different types of people that live there, but it's nothing like the U.S. And they completely, I want to say they live like to me, it was like a better style of life. I feel like we're getting kind of off, but it's just like the rabbit hole gets deeper once you start talking about things. And one thing I'll say that I noticed that I took from there, like the American diet and how easily accessed, I guess you would say foods that aren't as good for you, quote unquote.
Processed food.
Processed foods.
No, 100%. I'm right behind you on this one.
They had none of that. They had no McDonald's. They had, not that I was going to look there for it, but it's like the total landscape. I need to take a note of this. This might be where we need to move. The total landscape was different. Like, they just had a supermarket. There, I didn't see not one fast food restaurant, man. You go in the store and there's like not all the candies and chips and sodas. They literally had red bag of Doritos, blue bag of Doritos, yellow Lay's, and I think like yellow M&Ms and the regular M&Ms.
That's their junk food.
Everything else, there was nothing in the store. Like they literally had a store with the shelves were empty. Like something had happened and somebody came through and bought up everything. But the guy was like, "No."
So how do they get their proteins and all that?
They go to the store. They grow stuff in the fields. They actually like cook, basically.
So the local people grow stuff and sell it.
Mm-hmm. They had,
and then so you would go trade with like the fishermen for fish and people who
from what I noticed, like they're actually living that older, I guess you would say like a barter system type of lifestyle. But they had a supermarket with everything in there, and that's where they did have more of some of the junk foods, but not too much. It was like in their own like stuff we wouldn't see here, like companies that are made in the U.S. They had like their own version of it, but it still wasn't even a lot. It was still like a lot of more fresh produce than anything. But yeah,
that's awesome.
But yeah,
and it's amazing when you see that, and then you hear the abundance of the processed food and the people. It's cheaper, you know, because people, supply and demand. That's what it is. It's cheaper to make. It's so it's cheaper for people to eat. And they can eat more of it. Let's just eat more and more. That's one thing about dieting and working out and getting into that fitness background, which I didn't. I've been doing that sort of stuff for probably. It's probably 5 years now. 5 years. I started doing CrossFit. That's what I found that I liked as far as working out goes. Everything else was just sports and playing, Yeah. And I never really got too overweight except for one time in my life for a short period. But
it happens sometimes.
But I ate terrible. Yeah. I ate a bunch of junk food, processed stuff, and drank a bunch of sodas. Like that's what I did. And when you stop eating that stuff, you realize, oh man, I feel so much better.
Yeah.
Like it
mentally and physically,
Yes, mentally and physically. It just changes your whole demeanor, the way you think, your cognitive function, the whole thing. Like, That's one thing we love about Hawaii, kind of the same thing what you were talking about. They do have some of that stuff, but they have so much more of just like especially at local shops, it's more of just like they're eating. Their eating isn't always for like indulging. Mm-hmm. You know, it's like the quality is so much better, and it's all from the earth, and they respect the earth, and then they respect the fish that they're killing, and they have a respect all the way around for what they're about to eat. And so it's kind of like, how people pray before they eat? Yeah. Well, this is like a full-on legit, I respect what I am about to consume and put in my body because I respect my body. Okay. That's kind of their attitude about it. So I'm imagining on that island, it's kind of the same thing.
Similar stories kind of in consideration of food when it comes to Hawaii. So I have to ask you, is the Spam thing true?
Oh, yeah. 100%
it's
real.
True? Okay.
It's
just
awesome.
Have to make sure.
I love Spam. I know we just talked about processed foods and how bad it is for you.
Yeah.
But my grandparents grew up through the Depression. And so they always had Spam in their cabinets. And I would cook like Spam and egg sandwiches.
Yeah, no, don't get me wrong. We ate a couple of them growing up. It's not a bad taste at all. It's just like,
it's weird.
Once you figure out what it is, like,
yeah, it's real weird. It's terrible for you. So I wouldn't.
Yeah.
But yeah, they do have like, they do have a lot of Spam. They serve Spam in every single fast food place that's there. And the little different shops and stuff like gas stations, you can go get like a little fried burrito
with Spam.
But they don't do fried burrito and Spam. They have these little Spam things that are like, it's like gas station food, but they make it with Spam.
Okay.
Yeah.
Kind of like what we're used to here, but
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's kind of weird. Like instead of going in and seeing like a fried burrito, you'll see these little things with Spam in the middle of them and whatnot. So they're probably healthier than the burrito, but.
I haven't seen a can of Spam in so long.
Me too. Me either.
I haven't. Now that I'm looking for it, I just feel like I would see that label.
They don't just. I mean, it's not like something we don't ever buy it. I mean, Kim won't ever. She's like, no, we're not eating Spam. I had to have one piece while we were over there. They make this like, I forgot what it's called now, but it's like a sushi roll. So it has the seaweed around the outside, has the rice, and in the middle is Spam.
This is different.
Yeah. I had to have them before I left because it's like a local delicacy. It's like their treat whenever they have a treat or whatever.
That's you just made me think about when we went to Turks. They were eating conch. You ever watch SpongeBob, the magic conch shell? There's actually like a snail type octopus thing that lives inside of there, and that's like their thing to eat over there. So it's kind of like, I guess the texture.
Is it good for you?
I didn't die, so I don't know if it's good for you. I mean, it comes from the sea, so I'm guessing it's not too bad. And they eat it like crazy over there on everything. But yeah, that's like their thing. It kind of resembles like calamari.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, so it's not bad. It's not bad.
Nice.
It was pretty good. But
right on.
Now back to the question I think you asked.
Well, I mean, we can get into your DJ and stuff or whatever.
Yeah, I was like, I didn't want to get too far off.
No. Like, it was fine. Like it was super interesting. Like it was interesting to hear your side of like I could probably do a whole podcast on the cultural things.
Oh yeah,
and all that. Like it could go way deep.
Always,
into
man. That's always going to be there.
Seeing something from your perspective is different than mine.
Yeah,
and I'll tell you how I learned that is I grew up in the Rio Grande Valley, right on the border of Mexico. Mm-hmm. So I'm like the minority, where I'm growing up, but I didn't know any different. I grew up in that culture. Yeah. So I grew up in this certain way, this certain culture, and we were all friends. I didn't look at anything any different. Like this way it was. When I moved up here, it was a huge culture shock for me.
Ooh,
so I was like, everybody's racist. Mm-hmm. I can't believe y'all are saying that. Like that wouldn't fly where I'm from. I'm like it. It took me back for a second, but then I realized, no, these people, they're not racist at all. Like this is a different culture, and the people who, have that color skin are not offended at what this person's saying. Like, you know what I mean? And this person's not being mean either. So it really opened my eyes to like the whole, like how people are treated. They're really, when really someone has like hate in their heart, or it's just the way they grew up, what they assume.
Yeah.
How you're treated is the different story,
It's not a natural thing. Like you aren't born.
Yeah.
Like I'm gonna hate the shit out of that person over there.
No,
they look like
not at all.
Nobody's born like that. That's what
man. You take little kids and let them play, man. They don't care. You know, my kids have been playing with kids that don't speak any English.
Oh yeah,
and playing games at their birthday party. You know, and it's like one of my best friends. Like he invited us over, and you know they're all playing, and all the music is in Spanish. You know, and all that, and kids are just playing around and doing stuff, and you know having a great old time.
That's the same way.
They don't know the difference.
Yeah, exactly. That's the same way. I feel like even for kids growing up, like that's gonna make them more curious about, well, maybe I should learn that language so I can more relate to them. Like me growing up, that's how I was as a kid, because I was around plenty of people, plenty of different people, Mexicans, whites, blacks, kind of all over the spectrum, I guess you would say. And I was always curious about their culture and why they would eat what they were eating and why they spoke the language they were speaking. And I mean, like, if you're gonna be around, like, for example, not even to just say it like that, just saying it loosely, like a lot of my friends were Hispanic, so I would want to know what they were saying. You know, the first thing as a kid, you want to know, how do you curse somebody out in Spanish? What do I gotta say? And you know how that goes. Like, you want to know, how can I curse you out? Like, or you just want to say small stuff to pick up on it, but that more makes you want to realize or see the potential in you putting together a whole sentence and then going on and having a whole conversation. Like, that's how I was.
I think your mindset about that is probably why you're so good with people.
Yeah.
In the DJing business, and you're going to get to see a bunch of different... I mean, I got to throw this in there. Full disclaimer, I'm not a club guy at all.
Understandable.
Like, you would think this is the weirdest conversation with, like having you on the podcast would be so weird because I'm not the club guy that goes out and listens to DJs. I can't dance. Like, I wouldn't say I can't dance. I don't dance because I never practiced it. You know what I mean? I'm not the best at it anyway. It's not on the top of my talent chart.
I'm going to tell you this. I would have known you weren't a club guy if you would have walked in there not knowing you too. Because we see everything, man. We see everything. Like, we can tell when a guy can't dance. When a guy can't dance, like, we can tell when a girl, not even a judge, but I don't think dance is something that you can be great at it in your own respective right, in your own opinion, but everybody can dance whether they have two left feet or not. But like, you can tell some people just aren't comfortable with it, or they don't practice it. And you would probably be, not even you, but like there's guys that'll come in there and like you can tell they'll hold their drink or they'll hold their beer and they're kind of like leaning up against the wall, leaning on the bar, and they're like looking around, look up at the DJ, of course. And if they're with a girl, it's like the girl might try to get them to dance and they're like, no. Like, I'm good. Like, they're just chilling. But and that's another thing that DJing brought me to realize. Like, not everybody is one of those people that goes out and they're looking to dance. They're looking to go out and have their own sort of fun, like in their own respective right. And that's one thing I noticed about people. Like, not everybody's gonna be like, hell yeah, like turn up. Like, some people have a more cool, calm, lay back and chill, do their own thing, and that's fine. Like, everybody should be entitled to do what they want.
Yeah, but the party's like, it looks cool, and I have an appreciation for the craft for sure. Like, what you do is like, it's difficult, and when you make something sound awesome that's already created, and then you mix it up, and you make something sound cool, like you create something. I love music, like you, and having the same thing. I can tell you, I had a record player. We just had to get rid of it because we don't have a place here for it, which is fine. I went to a great home. I went to a home where a guy collects. Each decade he tries to get a record player from it, and multiple. So like, he collects them from the decades. This was a 65 Zenith. It had a radio in it. It was my grandparents. Speakers attached. It was like a box inside would flip up. But I got all my grandma's records, which I got the whole, like, the entire Nat King Cole collection.
Okay.
So I had and Dean Martin. So I have all these different, like, varieties of music, and I've always loved going down different avenues. Like, the same thing. I had Erykah Badu records along with my punk rock.
And you
records.
had to did you give the records up too?
Yeah. I don't have them. I gave all my records up with it. Man, somebody's got to appreciate it. I can't keep the records and not the player. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Somebody's got to have them. Like, I fully believe in somebody appreciating. I'm not going to hold on to it.
I'm a hurt for you because I know I would have loved to hold on and have held on to that.
Yeah. I mean, it was really it was good, but it went to a good home. Somebody's going to appreciate.
So you're kind of at peace with it a little bit.
Yeah. I'm not. I get sentimental a little bit, but it's not like crazy. But I have that same appreciation for music, and so I guess DJing is kind of interesting to me. You're like a one-man band up there.
Oh yeah,
playing stuff, but then you make a whole business out of it, which I love. Entrepreneur stuff, I also love people who find a different avenue to, like, they do what they love for a living.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's, like, you obviously didn't make any money. So this is not something that's like, oh, you just turned up one day and you're making a bunch of money as a DJ, you know?
No,
You're not Diplo right now.
No.
You know what I mean? Like, you didn't just jump in it. This is the stages. Like, you do it for free for a while. So now you're bouncing, you make connections and you're in the club. What are some of the struggles that you had, like, trying to start, once you decided, I want to start making a living, what are some of the struggles that you come across?
Well, this even ties into the question you asked earlier about how do you get into the clubs and how do you get those events. Like I said, figuring out how to market yourself in a personable way. So that's the main thing. Figuring out how to market yourself and be presentable, being great at what you do.
So how do you go into marketing yourself? Like
myself,
yeah, because
personally?
this can help everybody, and I want to use this as like a general thing. That's why I asked you, is because a lot of people ask that question. They could have a flower business, crocheting business, whatever it is. Like you name whatever a hobby. Say they love surfing or they love fishing, and they want to get their message out there, but they're like, I don't know what to do. Like I don't know how to get this thing out, but I really want to, and it's super fun. Like this is going to be interesting to me to see, because I've seen your Instagram page. I kind of see your style, so I want to hear your answer on how you do it.
So this is taking it back even before and I'm going to get to that also, but this is taking it back. One of the first things I ever did to market, I had a roommate at the time, and this dude, he is blowing up now. He is a marketing. I actually was blessed to live with and live right next door to two marketing geniuses. One's name is Kickflip and one's name is Little Zach. So what we would do was...
I feel cool just to be in the room when you're talking about these people.
Oh, man, I'm telling you, like, these dudes, they got it. Like, I've drawn so much inspiration from them over the years. Like, what we would do is, and I can't remember if Kickflip or Zach came up with the idea, but it definitely trickled down to help me do what I'm doing today. You know, when you're walking through the mall and you go through the food area, they're giving out free samples. So what we would do is, and this is the key marketing tip for anybody that's looking to get started, figure out a way that's cost effective to give out something for free and show how good you are at it. Show how good your craft is. So we literally would buy thousands of CDs. There's thousands of kids on campus. CDs. We would each put together like a 20-minute mix. Put it all on one CD. We would sit there, and we had the mega CD burner. We would sit there, burn all the CDs. We would all take shifts, burning them, popping them in, popping them out, putting them in the little containers and putting the labels over them. We would design. Kickflip was good at Photoshop, so he would design the flyer or the little CD cover with all of our faces and names on there and our Instagram names and all our information on there. And we would literally get a backpack full on top of the backpack we had for school, go through campus and pass it out to everybody. It didn't matter what you look like.
So your own money. You spent your own money all together, your time and effort to put this together, and then you're giving it away for free.
Yeah, and this is maybe like, we probably ended up spending like maybe $100. Like we always found creative ways to like either get it for free, not stealing anything, but like get it for free or get it for the super low. Like them CDs, we probably spent about $100 getting all the CDs because we had a connection with a guy who had who was doing basically the same thing, but he knew how to get the CDs for cheaper from a warehouse. So we was getting those CDs, getting the sleeves, and those were like maybe $10-15 for like 50 of them. So that was nothing, except the little plastic ones. And then like I said, we would go and pass them out to everyone. It didn't matter if you were a professor on campus walking through, if you were one of the locals acting like you went to school, just posing on the yard, or if you were sitting there studying, we would just come up and place one on your book or whatever you're doing at the time, or on your table as you're sitting down and you're eating. Now, with that being said, you hand somebody something, that's your opening gate for a conversation. If you choose to indulge, or they choose to indulge in a conversation with you. So you're like, hey, you're a DJ? Like, yeah, my name's Adonis. I DJ here on campus. And then you're getting to know them, and that person might be in an organization there on campus. From there, like, hey, remember that guy Adonis? We don't have his information. Oh, wait, we do have his information. We got it on the CD. Here we go. organization. We talked on the e-board. We have this, that, and the third going on, and we have this much to offer you in the budget. Like, does this fit what, you can do and you can come out for? Yeah, sure. Like, I'm taking anything I can get at that time while I'm in college, and like I'm building up my reputation. So from there, I mean, it just kind of goes on. But like, to sum up the point, find something that you're great at, and then figure out a way to creatively get your great content to them. If you don't have much money, there's always a way around it. But marketing yourself, that was one thing that really propelled me to getting good at Sam, because it led to so many different gigs. Just passing out them free CDs and opening up them gates for conversation. That opened up the gate for gigs, and money came along the way. But more of the relationships you create along the way. Like, say for example, now, like, I do the thing with the T-shirts.
Yeah.
I literally will buy about $300 worth of these T-shirts every couple of months or so, and then I just literally will give them out for free at events. Like, I'll do something random, like, hey, follow me on Instagram, I'll give you guys a T-shirt. Boom, they do it. I throw them a T-shirt, and they're like, hey, he gave us a shirt. Like, we like that dude. Like, we now get to have a conversation with him. He talks to us. Like, it's just little creative ways to find out how you can get inside of people's heads. Not in a bad way, but just like get to know them.
Have you always been outgoing like that? Were you willing to talk to people, or was this something that like was a fear to go, like that first moment when you're going to give that first CD away to somebody, you're like, they ain't going to like this. They're not going to listen to it. Are those thoughts going through your head before you do it?
You make yourself as prepared as possible. So like on, say for example, like my first time ever making a mix for one of those CDs, like, and I knew I had to come with it because they were already doing it, so they brought me in, and I was like, man, I gotta come with it. So I might have did that mix, I don't know how many times, and was like listening to it myself. This take time. Like, you're recording a mix for maybe like 20 minutes, 30 minutes, a whole hour maybe, and you could mess up one time in that mix, and you have to start over. Done. Then let's say for example, you do that 20 times. This might take you a day or two. You go back and listen to it, and you're like, nah, that ain't it. Like, you want to put your best foot out there, or your best work out there. But to answer your question, I think I've always been outgoing, but I'm not sure at the same time if this makes any sense, because I can remember being little and thinking like, damn, I'm shy as shit. Like, because I came in contact with so many people, and I would not, like, my family's huge. Yeah. And there's some shit talkers. Like, they will roast you for anything. You come out of the house with your shirt not matching your pants or shoes, man, what the hell are you doing? So I was like, man, I don't even want to walk by them. I don't want to talk to them, like, do nothing. So I think it put me in a little shell. So I think I was like, man,
but you think it's part of the vulnerability though? Like, yeah. That's your work. Like, this is your craft, and at this moment your confidence isn't high, like crazy high, because you've been mixing at a pool. Mm-hmm. You're trying to get on doing this stuff at, you're just starting out. Like, oh yeah. You think it's good because it's starting to sound better to you, but is it really good? Like, are you asking yourself that question? Yeah. Is it really definitely good? Man, you're gonna go through every emotion. Like, I just put that on the caption of my picture today. You're gonna go through every emotion, the highs and the lows, until you just realize that the more work you do, the better you're going to get, the better position you're going to be in as a person. Because I can even remember going back to the mixtapes, like I think it might have been my second mixtape I had ever put out. So I'm building up the buzz for this mixtape, and it's like a Halloween mixtape. I'm building up the buzz. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to drop this today at such and such time. I'm going to put it on all the streaming platforms for y'all, but then I'm going to come to school the next day with the physical copy. So people knew to look for me that next day. Or I think it was a day when I was getting ready to put it out on all the social media platforms. I had already posted the actual CD cover. I literally was in a meeting for an organization. I walked out to go use the restroom, and I could hear this girl around the corner. It crushed me so hard. She was like, man, what the hell is he doing? This cover's ugly. And I knew she was talking about me. And I walked around the corner, and I saw her phone, and we just looked at each other, and I was like, damn. I was like, that shit hurt. But I still kept going. That next day I came to school. Didn't get inside of my head for too long. Like, I'm never one of the ones that's gonna listen to somebody else for too long. Did it make you want to get better? Hell did it make you want to improve it, or did you just leave it because you go, no, I like that cover, I'm gonna leave it?
The cover was dope. So I left it. I wasn't about to change it for her one opinion.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You're not listening to that one the one person. So
yeah,
let's take an example. You said hundreds of CDs.
Mm-hmm.
How many people listen to that CD? 10?
Yeah. Now your numbers.
So now you got 90 CDs that went in the trash can and never even got listened to.
Oh yeah, I'm pretty sure people, a lot of them did.
Boom, boom, boom. They're all in the trash can. But you don't care about the 90. You care about the 10.
Mm-hmm. It's just like in relation to an event or to a party. Say, for example, you could play a song and you would hit 5 people over here with that one song. They're having a good time, but you got 3 people over here to the left mean mugging you because they ain't feeling it. But then you might play a song and mix something in the next few seconds, and it's like, damn, those 3 people that were hating me now are in love with me. And these people over here now hate me. So you can't really just please everybody, but you try your best. You go out there. And you can't listen to the people over here that are saying your cover's ugly or not feeling the song at the moment. Like, you just got to keep going, man. And it always ends up working out. Like, that's one thing. Just, like, keep going. Keep actively trying to figure things out. And there's nothing that can stop you, I feel like, honestly.
Yeah. No, I mean, you did it with nothing. Like, you did it, like, all these little inventive ways that you found, like, to promote your stuff, to market it, to put yourself out there with no fear of being judged by other people.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, well, I mean, maybe the fear's there of being judged, like a little bit,
get to you.
But you didn't let it affect you. You almost let it motivate you.
Oh, yeah.
Like, motivate you on that.
You have to, man, because haters going to be there regardless.
On everything. And that's what I'm saying. Like, it's with everything that you do. The most vulnerable thing is, like, talking to this microphone right now, sharing your feelings. It goes out to the world. Like, everything you said just goes out to everybody. And somebody could listen to that and go, man, that guy's full of crap.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Whatever. They could turn you off. You know, I always say it's like so many emotions because you're putting yourself out there for everybody to judge. Like, you're throwing yourself out there, doing something you love to do, and somebody's going to say it's not good. And you got to know how to deal with that part, too.
There's always going to be somebody that has something to say, but it's like, say for example, we're doing this, who could tell my story better than me, or who could tell you how to do what you do better than you in your own respective right?
Nobody can do that.
You know,
nobody. You got your own style and your own thing, and that's what you got. Like, you have your own style and the way you do things. Rob's got his own style.
Oh yeah.
They're 2 totally different people. You'll watch both of you two DJ. It's 2 totally different things.
Oh yeah.
It's a totally different event. Like, you know what I mean? But both of you are being exactly who you are.
Oh yeah, and that's what I love it. I love that you can be who you are. And I love Rob, man. Rob's a great dude, bro. Rob, I'm glad me and him kind of became a little closer the last few months, man. Rob's an awesome guy. Yeah. Shout out to DJ Rob.
So I want to get to some of the people you get to meet with that.
Go ahead.
Because I know that some of the things like you talked about on Twitter or whatever, but also I was scrolling through one time and like Rob's had a thing on his Instagram that was like him and Paul Wall. Mm-hmm. Now, I like rap. I like my rap music a lot. I spent a lot of time in the CD store with stuff, and I'm like, back when they used to have CD stores, man, I made myself sound old, didn't I?
Oh, man. Dude, trust me, I was there for CDs too, man. You heard my story earlier. But, I was there for him.
But I saw him, and I was like, that's Paul Wall. Mm-hmm. Is he with Paul Wall? And he's like, yeah, he's come up here for a couple minutes. Then I saw a picture of you with Paul Wall too, so I'm like, I got to know as a DJ when you, like, you do these gigs and then you get, like, who are the types of people you get to meet? And then are you ever awestruck by these people? And do they ever become just normal human beings once you're around them for a while?
Man, you want to know what? I can answer that question by saying this. First of all, Paul Wall is literally one of the most humblest, down-to-earth people. I won't even call him a rapper. Like, just a human being, because with his platform, you know, some of them, I've met celebrities that act a certain type of way and they don't really just want to give you their time at the time. That's what I had to understand also. But Paul Wall literally was like, man, let me take a picture with you. Like, he has, if you go on his Instagram, he has a backup page, and it's like, I think it's called Paul Wall and Me, where he takes pictures with people, like selfies, or he'll take a picture with them and just post it. Like, that's one of the most genuine, most humblest, is humble even a word? I don't even know. Most humble people that I've came across. But meeting people or meeting, I guess you would say, celebrities, me, I try to think of, I don't want to be awestruck in a sense of, oh, I'm not going to be that person. They be like, ooh, I'm not going to be that person. I'm just like, I think of everybody as a human being. Yeah. So I would want to, like I said, get to introduce myself to them or them introduce to me and just be like myself and them be them. I don't want them to feel like, you know, oh, this dude's just another DJ trying to be cool and take a picture with me and stuff. I would actually want to have a conversation and like just figure out like what makes them tick. Like, and if I had a booming podcast, like I would want them to come on there and like, you know, just give background information or, you know, talk about them growing up. I don't ever want to be like awestruck because I've met some pretty cool people and I've been fortunate enough to like be in the same area with them, but I don't want to be like awestruck ever.
Yeah, it's kind of a weird thing because I've only had that feeling, you know, a couple of times with some people. I'm like, oh, I kind of fanboyed out a little bit.
Yeah.
But for the most part, and I think athletics did that for me a lot, was you realize like you all go through the same sort of growing pains for the most part. Some guys may have more talent than you, but you realize like, man, that dude is a regular human that just has a special talent that entertains. You know what I mean?
He breathes just like I breathe. You tie your shoes like I do. And it's not even to say it like that, but some people just do fall into that.
Well, it's entertaining, man. Yeah. It's entertaining, dude. Just like what you do as a DJ is entertaining. And they go, dude, that's DJ Adonis, man. He's, you know, like, hey, dude, you're just a regular dude, you know?
I would want people to know, like, I'm one of the most coolest, down-to-earth people. I love to talk to people and just get to know people. Like, I'm not a celebrity or anything or none of that. Like, I don't ever aim to be like. It's still cool to just see people like think like that though. Like, oh, gotta be awestruck. Like,
yeah, but I mean, if you have that awestruck thing, I think you can be let down. I guess is what I'm saying. Is it? I understand that these are just human beings. They have flaws, and so like you meet them and they treat you like crap. You're like, maybe he's just having a bad day like I have a bad day sometimes. Or maybe he really is just a douchebag and of a human being. Like, I can appreciate his craft, you know, what he does. He doesn't have to be a nice guy because he entertains me on the TV screen or, you know, whatever it is, that sort of stuff. But as far as like, even down to like businessmen or regular people, all that good stuff. Like, what type of people come out to your shows? Like, what type of people come out? You're doing such a wide variety of things, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. The mixture of people and your like your upbringing and the stuff that you've done has kind of led you to where you can kind of feel out a crowd. I feel like you could even DJ a country gig.
Oh, country's easy. With country, you can creatively like mix country songs, but for the most part, like people want to enjoy those songs like through and through. Like with a different type of song, like I can mix it in and bring in another song. It's like bam, hit them with the hits. But country is like pretty much straight to the point. But in regards to your question, you said meeting people.
Yeah. So like I talked about awestruck, but then you meet like so many different crazy people, and you're DJ, like you were saying, you love to talk to so many different people. It's not just one generic type of person you're dealing with in your gigs, because you do such a wide variety. You've got professors, you've got you're dealing with like so many different human beings. From all sorts of different like education levels, not just Paul Wall like as a famous person, but like a professor that's made his way up, a businessman that owns this big business. You get to talk to all these different, just from a DJ gig. Think about that for a second. Like from a booth, spinning a record through music, you get to tie all these people together.
Man, you're making me think like how many cool and interesting people I've met. So I got to meet a few, I want to say like 2 months ago maybe, and his name is going to skip me right now, but he's the guy he's the main announcer for A&M at the football games, and he's like the voice, basically. I cannot think of his name, but he actually came to the wedding I was DJing, because I think he was involved with the corps also, and then one of the groom was involved with the corps. So he was there, and he was like, he was going to be the one basically to introduce them, and I didn't know that it was a surprise to them, because they were like, the groom is going to flip out once he hears him. And I got to meet him. Awesome. This guy has like this phenomenal voice.
Like, isn't that crazy?
Yes.
Some people, you hear them announce and you're like, dude, if you're around that guy all the time, he sounds like that. He's talking. He's not making that voice up.
And his conversation, just like the way his tonality, the tone of his voice, like everything was just like, damn, I want to be like him, kind of. Like, it was like one of the moments for me, like, I don't know if that's weird to say, but I was like, man, this dude has the voice. There's plenty of people you could say that has a voice like that before it to be like live, and he's like right here. I thought maybe I was fanboying out a little bit, not too much, but I was
more
like,
on the talent. Yeah,
I was like, that's something to look up to and something to be inspired by. And more of I've met, say for example, the president. She's a female actually. The president of Sam Houston State, Dana Hoyt, is a female. Literally one of the coolest, laid back, easy to talk to type of people you can run into, but she runs a whole university and has been doing it on a successful level for so many years, and she has to deal with so much, especially as a female, because I think she's like one of the only females, and I could be wrong, so Miss Hoyt, don't be mad at me, but I could be wrong. I think she's one of the only ones like in Texas or like for a major university.
Do you think you could get all these people on a podcast?
Possibly.
Like you just ask them and they'd be on a podcast, right?
I think so. The conversation level and the relationship, I guess you could say, I built with them, it would probably work, probably have to fit it in on their busy schedules, but I would definitely shoot for it. Like I said, meeting some cool people. I've met plenty of owners of different businesses out in the area and kind of all over, getting to meet with them, just hearing their background stories. I love background stories, man, like figuring out or hearing why people tick and do what they do, like the inspiration behind it all. But I've met some pretty cool people at events.
Dude, I think you're perfect for a podcast.
I think I should.
Yeah,
I will.
You got that inquisitive mind. You know a bunch about people. You've had some crazy experiences, like with different things, and you know so many different people. Like that's what you said. Like the power of knowing people. When they really say it's not what you know, it's who you know. There's nothing more true than that. There really isn't. Like it really is. You do have to know things, but if you're a genuine human,
yeah.
It is who you know, man. It's who you meet and who you make yourself like friends with. You got to be vulnerable with people. You have all that stuff. If you're genuine and you really have a kind heart going into something, it's who you know.
It's unstoppable, man. And you hear that growing up. Like you hear those. It's one of those expressions you hear growing up. It's not what you know, it's who you know. And then you're like, well, damn, I only know my two best friends because I'm so young right now, or I only know my cousins because I play with them every day. But you grow to understand that, like, there's power in knowing people and having quality relationships that are built over, even the smallest conversations or smallest commonalities. But I feel like definitely, man.
But I think a lot of that stems from, too, just in my head thinking about, I'm replaying your CD thing. All the efforts, of giving your stuff away for free, people throwing stuff away, that lady saying she don't like your cover, all that stuff. If you'd have just got pissed off and, yelled at her or just, made her mad, I'm not saying that you can't express your emotions, but just moving on and dealing with your own thing, it seems to make it more endearing to humans as to be like, if you ask that same person that like, man, I don't like that cover, but you're friendly with that person, you can have a disagreement about this.
Yeah.
And you go, hey, you want to be on my podcast? Like, yeah, I'll be on your podcast.
Yeah, so you know tell me why
I still don't like
your
cover.
Yeah, so you can tell me why now. I can get in your head now.
I think that attitude right there, and that's part of not listening to the judgment of other people too, in what you do. It's just crazy that your music can tie all this stuff together. You can meet all these people, but you definitely need to have a podcast.
I'm getting it.
Definitely, dude.
I will.
And you just got to start it just like you did with the CDs and the DJ, dude. Just start it.
And you know what? I'm going to interview you. I have to. I have this planned out. I'm going to interview you.
Go for it. I'm free anytime, man. It's super fun. I've actually been interviewed one time. My friend Paul Porras interviewed me on a little video thing that he was doing. It was a blast, man. I had so much fun.
Oh, yeah, because you get to just, like, open up, man, and... Like, when we're talking, he says, is there anything you don't want to cover? I'm like, man, I'm an open book, dude.
That's me. That's me, too.
Book, man.
That's me, too. Well, thanks, man. Tell everybody where they can see you, how they can find all your stuff. Buy your shirts. Get a free shirt. I don't know. The Instagram, Twitter, anything you want to let everybody know. Just, tell them where they can find you.
Let me see. All of my social media handles are going to be at the THE Adonis, and that's Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, pretty much anything related to social media. My Facebook page is the DJ Adonis as well. You can look for me on Google too if you're looking for a DJ. Check me out. I got some really awesome reviews, and those are true to life. My reviews are pretty awesome. I take pride in those. Let me see what else. As far as like getting a t-shirt or anything, I'm gonna let y'all in on a little gem. I've never charged anybody for a t-shirt ever. Like a day in my life. Like I pay for those and I give them out, but it's more of a, you got to catch me in the right moment or at the right event. And if I have some left over and you happen to ask, you're more than welcome to have one. But I've never charged anyone for a t-shirt. Like money isn't, like, I'm not rich, I'm not balling, but it's not an issue when it comes to that. It's I feel like it's in me to just give back to people when I can. So,
you're doing what you love, dude.
Doing what I love. That's all,
like, you're fulfilled.
Yeah. I'm fulfilled. I'm happy with that.
There you go, man.
Definitely.
Well, thanks, DJ Adonis.
Thank you, sir.
I appreciate it, man.
I appreciate you.